Overall, I'm not necessarily, I'm in no way, shape, or form upset about this. It's just interesting to see that it's pretty much just a better Switch. It's supposed to be intended as a better Switch, and I'm cool with that. Like, that's not bad. I will say there was a part of me that really wanted to see Nintendo go away from the Switch name to make something new, even if the new thing still had Switch DNA. So even if it was a home console that had all this power behind it that allowed you to play a new world of Nintendo games in a new light, and then there was a component of that you could take with you, whether the controls came off or not, whether it was just a screen or not, whatever it was. Even if that was a thing, I still would have preferred that, or not preferred, but that would have been nice. The same way the Wii U, not that the Wii U had its own gamepad as it did, not that you could take that out with you because you couldn't, but more so that it would be cool if it was 3DS games that had Wii U compatibility, or like crosstalk, if you will. Prime example would have been Smash Brothers for 3DS and Wii U. That would have been the Super Smash Brothers, but you're able to play on your controller, on your system at home on the Wii U, and then when you want to go, you can take like a portion of the game, or like a little chip or whatever, put that in your 3DS and then walk out with it. Like, imagine if you adapt that to the Switch, or like to an idea where the Switch works, instead of having like a tablet console that docks to a HDMI system that allows you to play on your big screen. Imagine if there was just like a console at home that accepted the same medium. Like, okay, well, you could put this card in, like, imagine like a little cartridge, like the Switch cartridges, you can put that in the console, play it that way, and then you can eject that, put it in this like a screen. Like, let's say it was like a Game Boy kind of. We put that in the Game Boy, and you can walk out with the Game Boy. That would have been cool, like, to be able to do it that way. I guess the closest Nintendo's come to that, like that exact like one-to-one, it's named the same thing or named similar thing, would have been the GameCube and the Game Boy, where the GameCube had a Game Boy player. You could take the Game Boy Advance or Game Boy cartridges, put that in the Game Boy player, play it on your big screen. It doesn't necessarily enhance the game, it doesn't make the game run any better, it just kind of runs the game. And like, the horsepower of the GameCube is not necessarily, maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but it doesn't make it any better. It just makes it to where now you're playing that same game on the big screen, and then hey, it's time to go, or you're going on like a trip or whatever, on a plane or whatever, you take that same game out, the same physical card, take it out, put it in your Game Boy, and then, keep going. That would have been cool, like, to kind of save and stuff like that. I guess that is the closest thing I would imagine, or I would have liked, in lieu of it not being a Switch 2, of it just being there's a system that has a home component and a mobile component, and they both work in tandem. So you don't have to worry about development games only for the mobile component, development games only for the home system, but allowing you to take the initiative to choose where you want it to be, which is essentially what the Switch is. It's just a matter of the Switch console as a unit is more or less seen, at least for me at the beginning, is seen as a mobile device. It's only seen as a mobile device. So like, it's this tablet with controls that slide onto it, and the tablet has enough horsepower for you to play this range of games. Like, games that were on par with Wii U or a little bit better than Wii U. You could take it wherever. That's the only thing that was different about the Wii U, is that you couldn't take it anywhere with you. You kind of had to you just had it there with you. That would be, in theory, nice, because that's what the Switch is. Now, the Switch 2 is just a better version of that, in the sense that the hardware is supposed to be better, the games are supposed to be newer. There's a different way to play it. We'll see tomorrow with the actual controllers. So all that works. It's just not what I anticipated it being. I would have, like I said before, anticipated it being a system where there's a home component and a mobile component. They're separate to the point where, while you understand you take the mobile component with you, it's not as strong or as powerful as the home component, because the home component has more room for more horsepower to allow better graphical fidelity, better feature sets and stuff like that. Whereas you go on the go and you can still play it, it's the same control scheme, it's not, how do you say, it's not all in one system. Like, the mobile component is not the main system. If anything, if the dock, let's say they kept the Switch as it is, the Switch 2, all that stuff, let's say the dock had more horsepower in it, to where the Switch 2 tablet already has this immense amount of power in it. Like, it has like its own GPU, pretty much an APU, where it can achieve this level of fidelity and performance. Cool. But when you come home and you dock it, the same game is running, but it's running on hardware that has a little bit more performance, a little bit more fidelity available to it. That's the wish of someone who likes the games regardless, however, but also not be upset at having more fidelity, more performance available to them through the system that is provided. Like, if the Switch 2 or if the Switch was as strong as like a PS5 or like an Xbox Series X, for example, that would be really cool. I understand that would require a lot of hardware, a lot of like performance power behind it. which you may not be able to get in a tablet size form factor. Maybe if there was like a home component that offered that, maybe that would be cool. And then you can still dock and undock it, or like plug it in or whatever. Or you could take the same game, like let's say you get to a point like you save, and I guess it's the nature of being able to like, there's no pause. If the game had a way to like save state where you were, and you could save it to the game cartridge itself, and then you could put it, like you take the card out, you put that card in like the actual home component, and then the home component kind of continues from there. Even if you treated the Switch 2 tablet as like its own kind of Wii U gamepad kind of thing, where the tablet or mobile component can now communicate directly to the home component wirelessly or with the wire, so you can still charge it, for example, that would be cool. I would be cool with that, because it would allow you to do that, compared to if it's just a matter of, okay, well, hey, you know, you docked this mobile component and this home component kind of like system. It's so easy to dock and undock because of the fact that it's using the processing power of the actual mobile component. So it's what I'm asking for, or what I was expecting or hoping for, is still a roundabout way exactly what the Switch is. Like, you still have a home component, which is the dock, and you have your mobile component, which is the actual system. It's just you have a way of playing your mobile games on, or mobile games on a big screen TV by docking it. And that's cool because I guess it allows you to immediately switch, like dock and undock how you want to play it. Mid game, you don't have to like pause the game and stop it and like create a save state, take the game out, put it in the home component, or take the game out, you know, vice versa. You know, if you're playing on mobile, take it out, put it on the home component. If you're on the home component, take it out, put it on the mobile, you know, vice versa. That's what I would have hoped for, because that would have made more sense. It would allow them to update the actual home component, like as hardware gets better, the home component gets better. As hardware gets better for the mobile component, that can get better as well. Or you can anticipate or set up a mindset where you know the mobile component is not as powerful as the home component. The mobile component is powerful, don't get me wrong, it's powerful enough to run the games at this spec. However, when you take that game and put it in your home component, then it works a lot better because it has more performance. So there's more performance headroom, so that way you can run the games at a higher refresh rate, a higher resolution, whatever the case may be, you know, like Ethernet connectivity, because, you know, you may not have that with a mobile component or whatever. Just small things like that. It makes a lot of sense to me why they would do that. That's just not how it came out to be. At least imagine I'm saying all this, not knowing, thinking it's a cool thing, and then tomorrow they just show all that. Like, but I don't know if that's the case. I really don't know that. So this would have been nice. I'm also okay with this.